So since I'm cruising it through the twisties, figured I'd talk about the 3 turning techniques that you see up here in the canyon. 3 different riding styles that you see people using. And there's the knee dragger style, street Rossies. There's the supermoto style, foot draggers. Whoa. And there is also the people just ride pretty much like I do, like cop style is what I call that, where you just like stay in the saddle and you don't really like point your knee, you don't really shift like half a butt cheek off the seat or anything. You're just kind of like counter steering and just kind of leaning with the bike and going with it. And I'd like to talk about those 3 techniques. And what do you think is the best? You know, like what do you do like when you're cornering? Do you actually like, do you shift your butt over? Do you point your knee toward the inside of the turn and do you do it that way? Or do you like stick your foot out straight? You know, like if you're on like a dual sport or like a supermoto, do you ride supermoto style? Or do you just like stay in the saddle, you know, pretty much like what I call cop style? Because you'll never see a police officer trying to drag his knee or holding his foot out or any of that stuff. They don't do that. They do those cone courses and they're just sitting there in the saddle. You know, they're not doing any sort of lower body movement or anything like that. They're just controlling the bike with the handlebars and just kind of going with it, knowing what the bike is going to do and just trusting the bike and trusting the throttle and having a good feel for the bike and the throttle. And I don't know, what do you think is the best? Because I have pretty good luck just riding like a cop most of the time. But then there's other people, they'd be like, oh no, if you really want to ride fast, you've got to get your knee down, like going through turns. You've got to shift your weight over. You've got to, you know, like really, or stick your foot out. You got to supermoto that thing. You know, like you got to really shift your weight over on a bike to make it handle good and to really ride fast. But a very good example though is a couple of times I've seen the local police officers up here in the canyon, and they'll make a run up the snake or down the snake with a bunch of riders who are on sport bikes. And the sport bike riders will be dragging their knees and the cop will just be riding cop style and he'll be going just as fast as them. You know, it'll be like drag knee, drag knee, drag knee, and then here comes the cop and he's just like, you know, just regular, he's not even pointing his knee. He's just like riding in the saddle, just counter steering. So that makes me think that if you know what you're doing and you've got good control over the bike, that on the street you could go just as fast as anyone else without totally being a street Rossi. But let me know what you think. Give me your opinion on that. I mean, how do you ride? You know, does it just depend on what bike you're on? Or does it just depend on how fast you're going or what road you're on or what, you know, like whatever. Let me know. And I will talk to you guys later.